South Africa have done it again. They're providing all the entertainment off the field. Thank you, Jacques Nienaber and Rassie Erasmus. I've given up trying to guess what they're going to do next. Did not see that one coming. Lukhanyo Am is back in the South Africa squad. After an injury to Makazole Mapimpi, and I think the important thing to start with on this video is just to say, get well soon, and I hope Makazole Mapimpi is all right. That's a really disappointing way for his World Cup story to end, because you imagine he's not going to make another World Cup, and that's not how he would have wanted to have bowed out. But he may well yet win a Rugby World Cup medal. He has played for them in this tournament, so he would be eligible for one, but he's not going to be able to do so by taking an active role in the squad due to a fractured cheekbone, which has meant he has had to withdraw from the squad. And Lukhanyo Am has been selected in his place. Let me talk about this a little bit more. I'm Tim, this is Egg Chasers. And yeah, the video's coming thick and fast today because as I was recording the last one, my Team of the Round video, Lukhanyo Am's inclusion in the South Africa squad was announced. So I had no idea. So here I am back again talking about this one. Leave your comments. And the questions I've got are you surprised? Is it a risk? Who would you have picked instead of Lukhanyo Am? I mean, the first thing to say is, I guess the cases are very different between Makazole Mapimpi and Antoine Dupont. Obviously, every injury is different. You can't compare two. But in the case of Antoine Dupont, he's so important to France's chances that they're willing to roll the dice and take a chance, which is a chance and a risk which South Africa don't need to consider taking because they are so well stocked in the wide channels, and they can manage without Makazole Mapimpi. Lukhanyo Am, though, I mean, yeah, 4 years ago, one of the best players in the world, best player in his position. The last year hasn't quite been at that level, but nevertheless, probably the best person in his position that can pull on the South Africa jersey. But will he pull on the South Africa jersey? I guess that's the big question. Will Lukhanyo Am play a part in a match at this World Cup? Had this injury happened a couple of weeks ago, I think the picture looks very, very different. But as we stand here and now, it's quite different to the Handré Pollard situation where he's had that game against Tonga to prove that he can do it. I think this would be a huge roll of the dice. Sorry, my lights just died there. I apologise about that. It's a huge roll of the dice for Am to be selected in a matchday squad because, I don't know, is he going to wear the starting jersey? I was only talking on the last video about how good Andre Esterhuizen was and should they maybe consider having Esterhuizen and DLND in the centres. Now Am is back in a possibility. Could he start at 13 having not played in ages? Maybe. They've got 2 weeks now to have a look at him in training, and it would be a massive call though, wouldn't it? It would be a huge call. Having not played to go straight into a game against France or New Zealand, I'm not sure I can see that happening. And to accommodate Lukhanyo Am on the bench would require probably a 5-3 split, which again is something I don't imagine they're going to do. I would imagine they'll stick with the 6-2 option. So it's just fascinating. And again, I love how South Africa in this World Cup have provided so many great talking points that have kept us going through the week when there's no rugby on. And I thank them for it again. Whether it's early team announcements, Maverick selection calls. I mean, I wonder if maybe Rassie Erasmus and Jacques Nienaber could have called up a fifth scrum half, you know, or maybe Lukhanyo Am is the fifth scrum half. Maybe he could slot in there. Or alternatively, can Lukhanyo Am play hooker? One person who I can imagine might be looking at this story and not feeling great, apart from Makazole Mapimpi, of course, Joseph Dweba. Because, I don't know, if you'd have woken up this morning and said, today South Africa are going to call up a replacement player for Makazole Mapimpi, I would have guessed it would be another hooker. But they're obviously very happy with Van Staden and Fourie. And maybe, actually, the bigger conversation there is about what is the role of a hooker in the game in 2023. Because I guess you don't need to hook anymore. The scrum halves feed the ball straight to the second rows. So, and I have played hooker and, you know, not at the elite level, but, you know, a decent semi-pro level. And it's really, really hard. Even trying to get your foot off the ground to physically hook is really hard, but hookers don't need to do that anymore. So you are free to judge a hooker on the other stuff they do around the field. And fair play, Fourie and Van Staden both add massive amounts around the park. Obviously, there's line-out throwing, and Joseph Dweber is not the greatest at that. So maybe I understand that call on balance. It's just a big, big ask for Lukhanyo Am to come straight back in and start. And it's a big ask for him to go on the bench to be able to prove that he could start. But I wouldn't rule it out. I don't see it for a quarter-final. And then you're into a semi-final. Well, I suppose the semi-final is only going to be against, England, Wales, Fiji, Argentina, or Japan. Probably going to be all right. Could give him a warm-up game there against one of the weaker teams in the semi-final. See if he's good for the final. Crikey. What an interesting story, and one that I'm sure we can talk about in the days ahead. Well, the couple of weeks ahead, because we're not going to get a South Africa team for at least a week. I can't wait to see. Oh, there's going to be lots of questions coming out of and lots of opinion and stuff coming out from the South African training camp. I'm sure there'll be press conferences where this question will be asked. Tell me what you know, what you're hearing. Again, I'm in the UK, so I'm not seeing what the South African media is saying. So I'd love to know if there's any comments coming out about his level of fitness, his ability to play, what the expectation is with Lukhanyo Am. But as much as anything, give me your opinions on all of those things. And I will see you on the next video.